evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 Honors Elementary Band and Orchestra Concert. I'm Dr. Carrie Sullivan, Supervisor of the Arts for the district, and I am so excited to be with you for this special event. This is our first time returning to the Patriot Theater since the pandemic, and it is really great to be back. It was such a joy this morning seeing our young musicians come into this space and just look with awe and amazement at the grandeur of this space, and to see them being with so many other amazing young musicians. The energy was just contagious. So I'm thrilled that we can give them this opportunity to share their music, and I'm really proud of all that they have accomplished. Music education is an essential part of a well-rounded education. Music helps us understand ourselves and the world. Music education develops skills necessary in life to be successful, such as empathy and self-awareness, listening, collaboration, communication, persistence, confidence, and creative and critical thinking. When our students are learning in their music classes, it goes well beyond learning to play their instruments, which they do beautifully, but they are developing as humans. In our music classes, our students are learning to read and write and effectively communicate in a new language. They're learning the technical skills of playing their instruments, as well as the expressive qualities of music. And this takes passion, commitment, and support. And this evening would not be possible without lots of support. So first, I'd like to take a moment to thank our dedicated instrumental music teachers who work devotedly to support our students. They are incredible, and we are so lucky to have them in Hamilton. At the moment, many of them are busy with last-minute preparations, but I don't want to miss this opportunity to celebrate them for sharing their knowledge, skills, talent, and time with our young musicians. So a huge, huge thank you to Mrs. Adderholt, Mrs. Anspini, Mr. Caruso, Dr. Constantino, Mr. Jeske, Mr. Marr, and Ms. Porco for all that you do for our students and the district. Thank you. To give a special shout out to Ms. Nystrovich, one of our general music teachers in the district, who has volunteered her time and talent at all of the rehearsals and to perform here tonight to accompany our orchestra students on the piano. So thank you, Ms. Nystrovich. I'd also like to thank all of the principals of the schools who are here tonight, as well as Dr. Rocco and the district administrators and our Board of Education for their support of music in our schools. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you, families, friends, community members, for supporting these musicians and valuing music education. You did a lot to get them to this point, helping them remember their instruments on lesson days, sometimes making special deliveries when they forgot their instruments, listening to them rehearse, nudging them to keep practicing, breathing a sigh of relief as you could finally hear some melodies starting to come through all of that rehearsal, driving them to rehearsals, and of course being here tonight to celebrate their accomplishments. So thank you to all of you. A few quick reminders before we get started. First, no food and drink are allowed in the auditorium, so if you have it with you, please keep it packaged and away, and make sure you bring it with you when you leave at the end of the night. I kindly ask that you do not add your own soundtrack to this evening's performance, so please take this moment to silence all cell phones and devices. Should you need to exit or return, please try to do it in between performances, in between songs, so as not to disturb our performers and other audience members. If you want to capture this moment, please do not use a flash and be mindful of those around you. This concert is being recorded and will be available on the district's YouTube channel, so feel free to put your cameras away and just experience the live music. After, we kindly ask that you remain in your seats at the end of the concert for some dismissal directions. So, as you are enjoying the performance tonight, please remember that the young people you see on stage are our future, and the future of music. And it is essential that we continue to support them and encourage them in their human and musical growth. Without further ado, the first piece that we will hear tonight is Jusky or Noski, composed by retired Hamilton Township elementary music teacher Dan Tobias. Jusky or Noski is a delightful piece written in ABA form, which means you'll hear an opening section, a second section, B, and then a repetition of the first section. This piece asks students to incorporate legato bowing, which is smooth and connected bow strokes, and accented staccato bowing, short and separated strokes. It also calls on the performers to change dynamics from piano, which is soft, to fortissimo, which is very loud. I'll let you guess which one they like the most. Syncopated rhythms, which are rhythms played offbeat in unexpected ways in the piano, also add some extra flavor to this piece. I would like to let you know that the ending of this piece is very soft, so please listen carefully and hold your applause so you don't interrupt the ending. And without further ado, I give you Mr. Jusky and the Hamilton Elementary Honors Orchestra. A world premiere written by our very own Mr. Anthony Caruso. This piece originated as a musical exercise that Mr. Caruso used to teach his students. The piece began with ideas in the key of D major to coincide with the pages that the musicians were reading and rehearsing. The piece really began to develop when Mr. Caruso shifted the melodic focus to cello and violas and gave the violin a new role of passing pizzicato ostinato, which means plucking, which is the pizzicato, and a continually repeated phrase or rhythm, the ostinato. So we are thrilled that you are the first audience to hear the world premiere performance of the introspective work, Ricochet Meditation. have a flea and a fly in a flute. This fun and challenging piece was composed by Hamilton's own Mrs. Sandra Antoini, and a poem by Ogden Nash is the inspiration for this piece. A flea and a fly in a flue were imprisoned, so what could they do? Said the fly, "Let us flee, let us fly," said the flea. So they flew through a flaw in the flue. This music follows an ABA format, which again means that the A theme repeats itself at the beginning and the end of the song. Melody A has two distinct voices, that of the fly with buzzing eighth-note rhythms, and that of the flea with a staccato hopping voice. The two characters interact with each other as if in conversation. The students will be playing the B theme at a fortissimo volume to show the danger inherent in the insect situation before resolving to the A theme's conversational conclusion. Before I get further tongue-tied, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Adderhold for a flea and a fly in a flue. Orchestra piece this evening is the Tango and Cha-Cha. This is a playful and energetic piece that depicts two styles of dance. The tango section features a dramatic solo part played by the first violin, accompanied by the rest of the orchestra playing a distinct staccato rhythm. The Cha-Cha section highlights the fun and lively rhythms with a Latin twist and is played in unison by the full orchestra. I give you Miss Antoini and Tango and Cha-Cha. Woo! Before we transition to band, we did want to bring out Miss Nice. She is still, she's kind of trapped behind the piano. We didn't think about the choreography. We wanted to thank her. Again, she volunteered her time to come to all of the rehearsals after school to work with these students. She chaperoned our field trip today as well as being our accompanist, and she is here tonight again volunteering her time, and we're very, very grateful. And again, before we transition, can we just get one more round of applause for our 2000? We're going to get started with our second half of the program. So I am pleased to bring on stage and introduce to you the 2023 Elementary Honors Band. I hope you all had dinner before coming because our opening section, our opening piece is sure to get you hungry. It is Donut Factory. And in this delightful performance, we take a delicious trip through a donut factory, where donuts travel along the conveyor belt. They get shaped, glazed, iced, and of course sprinkled. This lively piece features a fun bass line and a healthy dose of trombone glissandi, which is a slide from one pitch to another. Various auxiliary percussion instruments are used throughout to add to the sounds and experience of the donut making process. So please welcome Mrs. Antonini and please enjoy Donut Factory. features a Latin groove and allows for the percussionist to explore a variety of Latin percussion instruments, such as Our wind instrumentalists have worked on a number of musical skills rehearsing this piece. including call and response, the use of accidentals, which is when a note changes in pitch, and new key signatures. Please welcome to the stage Ms. Porto and the Honors Band. Robin is our next selection, and it was picked for tonight's performance because it's challenging, fun, and hopefully familiar to a lot of the adults in the audience. This piece really pushed our students to learn a lot of new notes and new fingering, and these musicians have really excelled at that. So I now give you Mr. Mars and Rockin' Robin. He did want me to let you know that dancing is optional for this piece. I would like to remind you that after our last piece, please stay seated and await dismissal directions. We want to try to avoid the chaos of a mass release and connect you with your children as quickly as possible. So we appreciate you following the forthcoming directions. Our final performance of the evening is our Band Plays Bingo, conducted by Dr. Constantina. Our Band Plays Bingo is a lively and entertaining competition that captures the fun and excitement of each section of the band. So you will hear variations of the catchy melody and playful rhythm played across the entire ensemble. Please enjoy our final selection.